Hello. So now I'm back in Liverpool, back here in the wonderful cathedral, and yeah, for the Liverpool Foundation. Final.
But maybe Jogo is in the squad and maybe Federico as well. But that depends a bit on the numbers we have and also how he recovered from his illness. What he needs is playing time, and the problem is if you haven't played for 5 or 6 months. It's sometimes difficult for a manager to give him his first minutes because you don't exactly know what you can expect.
Breaking news. Jurgen Klopp returns to Anfield as head of Liverpool coaching staff. Arne Slot under serious pressure after string of poor results. Anfield, Liverpool. In what has sent shockwaves through the football world, former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has officially returned to Anfield. Not as the head coach on the touchline, but as the head of the Liverpool coaching staff, a newly created senior position designed to stabilize the club during a turbulent period under current boss Arne Slot. This comes amid growing unrest within the club's hierarchy following a string of disappointing performances that have left the Reds far from their usual competitive form. Sources close to the club have revealed that while Slot remains the official manager, his position is under serious review, with many at Anfield believing that Klopp's return could be the beginning of a wider restructuring behind the scenes. The return that shook Anfield. It's been only months since Jurgen Klopp emotionally departed Anfield, leaving behind an era filled with passion, trophies, and unforgettable moments. His farewell in May was one of the most emotional goodbyes football has ever seen. Fans chanting his name, players shedding tears, and even rival managers paying tribute to his impact on English football. But football, as always, moves quickly. Arne Slot's arrival from Feyenoord was seen as the start of a new chapter. A modern coach with an attacking philosophy and tactical innovation. However, the early promise has quickly faded. Under Slot, Liverpool have suffered multiple defeats, including crucial losses in both the Premier League and Champions League, prompting growing concern among the club's board and supporters. According to reliable Anfield insiders, Klopp's comeback was initiated by the club's senior executives, who felt that his leadership and familiarity with Liverpool's identity were desperately needed. Klopp himself was reportedly hesitant at first, not wanting to overshadow Slot, but ultimately accepted the role out of what he described as love for the club and its people. "I'm not here to be the coach," says Klopp. Speaking during a private media session shortly after arriving at the AXA training center, Klopp made it clear that his new role is not about taking over the dugout again. "I'm not here to be the coach," Klopp said firmly, smiling in his usual charismatic manner. "Liverpool already has a coach, Arne Slot. My job is to support the structure, to guide, to advise, and to ensure the spirit of this club continues in the right direction. I love this place too much to watch it struggle." He went on to explain that he had been in touch with several members of the backroom staff since his departure, monitoring the team's progress and offering occasional advice. "Sometimes football needs a reset," Klopp added. "And if I can help even a little, I will always do it for Liverpool." Despite his reassurances, the situation remains delicate. Many fans believe Klopp's presence could increase pressure on Slot, whose tactical approach and in-game decisions have been heavily criticized in recent weeks. Arne Slot faces the heat. Slot's first few months in charge were supposed to mark a smooth transition from the Klopp era. But instead, they've been defined by inconsistency, defensive lapses, and questionable substitutions. Key players like Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, and Trent Alexander-Arnold have looked frustrated on the pitch, with reports suggesting there's a growing lack of clarity in the team's playing style. Liverpool's losses against Chelsea, Galatasaray, and a string of lower-ranked sides have left supporters furious and the board alarmed. While the Dutchman remains publicly backed by club officials, the reality is that his future hangs by a thread. An internal source within Liverpool's boardroom told the press that Slot has been given a short-term ultimatum to improve results before the next international break or face decisive discussions about his position. Fans react. Klopp is home again. The news of Klopp's return spread like wildfire across social media. Within hours of the announcement, hashtags like hashtag Klopp is back, hashtag welcome home boss, and hashtag YNWA Klopp were trending globally. Liverpool fans flooded online forums and stadium entrances with banners reading, "The King has returned," and "Klopp forever red." Many fans see his return as a symbol of hope in a time of confusion. "When Klopp is around, you just feel Liverpool again," said lifelong supporter Jamie Roberts outside Anfield. "He's not just a manager, he's part of the club's soul." Even if he's not coaching, having him around changes everything. Others, however, have expressed concern that his presence might undermine Slot's authority. "It's a tricky situation," wrote one fan on Twitter. "You can't have Klopp in the building and expect the fans not to compare everything Slot does to him." Inside Liverpool's plan, the dual structure model. According to reports from club insiders, Liverpool's hierarchy has been quietly planning a dual structure coaching model, inspired by systems used by clubs in Germany and the Netherlands. Under this structure, the head coach, Arne Slot, focuses on daily tactics and match preparation, while the head of coaching staff, Klopp, oversees long-term player development, training methods, and staff management. The idea is to combine Slot's tactical freshness with Klopp's leadership and deep understanding of Liverpool's identity. However, this model will only work if both men can maintain mutual respect and communication, something that has been difficult at other clubs attempting similar setups. A Liverpool board member was quoted as saying, "We believe Klopp's wisdom and Slot's modern ideas can work together if egos are managed and both sides focus on what's best for the team." How did Liverpool get here? Many football analysts point to the massive expectations that came with replacing Klopp. For nearly a decade, he turned Liverpool into a global powerhouse, delivering the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and more, while reigniting the emotional connection between the fans and the team. When Slot arrived, he inherited not just a squad, but a legacy. His challenge was never just tactical, it was psychological. Every decision, every substitution, every press conference was compared to Klopp's. And as results began to dip, those comparisons became even harsher. Slot walked into the biggest shadow in football, said Sky Sports analyst Gary Neville. Following Klopp is like following Alex Ferguson at United. You can't win unless you start winning immediately. The players' reaction. Inside the dressing room, sources suggest a mixed response. Senior players like Virgil van Dijk and Jordan Henderson, who reportedly stays in close contact with the squad, are said to have welcomed Klopp's return warmly, describing him as a leader the team always needed. Others, particularly some of the new signings under Slot, are reportedly unsure how to interpret the move. "It's confusing," one unnamed player told a journalist. "We respect both coaches, but it's hard to know who's really in charge now." Still, most players agree that Klopp's presence brings back an atmosphere of positivity and discipline that had been missing. Training sessions, according to insiders, have been more intense, with Klopp personally observing drills and occasionally giving motivational talks. The future of Arne Slot. Despite the mounting pressure, Liverpool's management insists Slot's job is not immediately at risk. But time is running out. The board wants to see improvement in performance, particularly in the Premier League and Champions League, before considering any major changes. Reports suggest Klopp has been advising rather than interfering, but should the team continue to slide, the temptation to let him take over again could become overwhelming. Right now, Klopp is saying he's not returning to coaching, said a Liverpool insider. But football is unpredictable. If the fans keep singing his name and the results keep going south, who knows what happens next? Klopp's final words to the fans. Before leaving the training ground on his first day back, Klopp turned to the cameras and said words that instantly melted the hearts of millions of Liverpool fans. "This club is home. I never stopped being a part of it. I'm back to help, not to lead, but always to love. Whatever happens, we'll fight together, because that's what Liverpool does." The stadium may not yet see him waving his arms on the touchline again, but his presence already feels like a powerful force returning to the heart of Merseyside. Conclusion: a return of hope or a sign of trouble? As Liverpool enters one of the most defining moments of its modern history, the dynamics between Klopp and Slot will determine not only the club's immediate future, but also its long-term identity. Is Klopp's return a symbol of hope? A master coming back to stabilize the ship? Or a signal that the club no longer trusts its new leadership? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: Anfield feels alive again. The songs are louder, the smiles are wider, and the belief that "you'll never walk alone," the motto Klopp embodied more than anyone, has once again returned to echo through the red walls of Liverpool.